They call them water dogs. Yet very few are truly good in the water, and even fewer can be referred to as great. Sure, they're the best by far the canine world has to offer. But truly great water dogs are rare as Phelps and Spitz are in our world. It's the finest of lines and takes a recipe so uncommon that only 1 in 100,000 really and truly have it. Courage and confidence are not hard to find in the ranks of the world's greatest retrievers, but finding those attributes mixed with a dash of patience, honesty, and a measure of respect, it is a true rarity. More times than not, it's built. Rarely does it come naturally. The water is the game changer. It's either your ace or your Achilles. It separates the men from the boys and women from the girls. It's the one attribute that truly makes the retriever the best and most versatile of all breeds. Welcome back to Mayflower, Arkansas, the second year in a row, the home of the Crown. And Justin, that brings us to the third test. Is this the ultimate?
Yeah, you know, I don't think it's the ultimate yet. It depends on what you're into. If you're into water blinds, it probably falls pretty close to ultimate. But what happened was the judges squeezed them a little hard in the first series, backed off of them a little too much in the second series, and in the third series they said, hey, you know, it's time to turn up the heat a little bit here.
Put the hammer down.
That's right. So Vicky comes in there with this great big water blind scenario, and then Jack looks at it and adjusts the line to make the angle entry even tougher. And then, you know, Jason's out there throwing some decoys here and there to create suction. And so, you know, most blinds, if you can imagine the shape of a football, you know, you start off at one point, and the judges kind of give you that round, fluffy shape in the middle, and then it comes back to a point at the end. This particular blind, you couldn't take a break. There was never that round, fluffy place because you had an obstacle or a target that you had to miss or get on. I mean, it was one of those things, literally, you know, most of the time you can see a handler will give a cast, the dog takes the right cast, and a lot of times you can see them sitting up there thinking, you know, watching the wind, trying to get a feel for the way their dog's thinking and acting, you know, and you can see that, you know, literally you saw the handlers bent down, hands like this, whistling the mouth, taking great big breaths because they never knew when they were going to need all that air to, you know, and so it was a tough one, man.
It was a head shaker, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
And see, you just think it's a dog going out and getting a bird. Oh no, listening to Justin, you realize there's a lot more to it than that.
There is a lot more to it, especially when you understand retrievers as well as Vicky Lamb does. She takes us through and tells us why a blind like this is so very difficult.
For this third series, we have a pretty tough water blind set up. And what we're looking for are style and courage to run down there and jump in that water at a long angle. Then we want the dog to get on the first point, which will show willingness and control with this handler. This is a team test here. And then get back in the water off that first point and swim past the next point. Now, with all the suction going to the left, the dog is going to want to pull left again. Having been on the first point, the dog may want to get on the next point, which will make it even tougher to bail back off and swim that last distance to the far pond dam to the bird. And we're looking for a dog that can put all of those things together and do it with style and pizzazz.
All right, you've had a look at the course. Now we're going to show you what they're up against. Clint Johnson and his dog Rudy, and what a great team to illustrate what we've got in front of us, Justin, the 2009 Avery Sporting Dog Cup Team of the Year.
Dog can do absolutely everything. Clint's turned into a fabulous trainer over the last few years. Rudy's strength is not in the water. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's not good in the water. I'm just telling you it's not his strength. He's just one of those dogs that he just kind of goes down a notch, maybe a notch or two, when he gets in the water.
And he doesn't seem to be real enthusiastic with this series as we watch him start out. He's kind of loping along, doesn't look to be real eager. And we heard Vicky say she wants a dog with pizzazz. Rudy right now not showing that.
Yeah, and he's not, you know, he's just not the most stylish dog in the water. And I think as he spent the last little bit with Clint. He's gotten better and better. Probably not exactly where Vicky would like to see him right now, and probably not where Clint would like to see him, but he's hanging. You got to get this first point. Now, this is what makes this thing so difficult. You got that long angle entry, wind's right to make it difficult. Get on the land now. Get back in the water.
All right, Rudy waiting instructions, and he gets to the first point. Judges give him 10 faults by the first point. Is that about what you expected,
Yeah,
Justin?
I think that's really pretty good work. It just depends on if your dog sees the picture. Remember, you line this dog up, and kind of what he does is he flips through a Rolodex, at least what I've always imagined in my mind. My dog's flipping through a Rolodex of photos in its mind, and it picks out the one that you've trained on 1,000 times. It most mimics this blind and goes, bam, I got the blueprint, let's go to work. And if they see that photo, that picture, like Rudy is, he looks like he's sucking a little bit around the corner here. Let's see what Clint does. There you go, good job. Now watch, Clint's going to really wait him out. He's going to make him study him and look at him because he gets one shot at this cast right here. Boom, got it. If that dog goes left, it's over, man.
That's good
it's
handling.
all over.
Good handling there to get him back on line.
Outstanding. But back what I was saying, he had to swim by that point. So he gets on the first one, goes by the second one, and then he's got about another 75 to 100-yard swim after that. So in total, the blind's a little over 300 yards. You see a picture of Clint's two better halves, Kristen and Shauna, Mama being Shauna.
And they're watching Rudy just as intently as Clint is.
Absolutely. He's got to finish his blind. He's almost there. A little bumpy, all to make it happen.
Keep going back, Rudy. Keep going back.
And that gives you a good perspective of how far it really is.
That's our duck shot right there. That's as if you were right next to the blind.
That's exactly what it looks like if you were sitting at the blind pole looking back. And so you can see how difficult it is. Now, you think we've got this elevated position. Outstanding job by Rudy. Can imagine what it's like when you're in the water 6 inches off the top of the water. You got to like it, man. Got to like it.
He does like it. Clint and Rudy come away with 76 total faults for the 3 runs so far in the Crown. What you've seen is what these handlers and these dogs are going to be faced with as we continue on this 3rd series. How will they handle it? Who will have the greatest concentration? Stay with us. More coming up.
The Super Retriever Series is brought to you by Avery. Welcome to your life. Eukanuba. Make a good dog great. Dogtra. World's finest e-collars. And by these fine sponsors. Ducks Unlimited. Zinc Calls. Dog Lovers Wine Club. And by the Heart of Arkansas.
Welcome back to Mayflower, Arkansas, the Super Retriever Series Crown Championship. This is series number 3. You've already seen how tough it is as we're getting suited up for another challenge and to show you some of the problems, Justin, that can occur when these dogs get in the water and go for a blind.
I mean, it's one of those deals. And I heard Judy Aycock say something one time that really kind of put this all in perspective. It's a dog thing. That's what she said. Why is this blind so difficult? I don't know. It's an angle entry. It's a long swim. You get on a point, you get off a point, you swim by another point. It's something that they've all done a million times. But for whatever reason, it's very difficult.
And you can see Mark Fritzmeyer shaking his head as his dog Bob gets actually sucked in by the temptation to get on that island.
I mean, Bob's a master hunter. He's got amateur placements. He's run blinds like this 1,000 times. Here's a Canadian amateur field champion, a Canadian field champion, an amateur field champion, and a field champion from the United States. Armand Fang's Rooted Ninja had a very difficult time. He just wouldn't get in the water. Wouldn't do it.
Keep in mind, these are accomplished dogs you're looking at.
Some of the very best in the world.
David Wolf biting down on that whistle. Watching his dog Willow again get tempted, and this time the dog's going right.
Right, she took a big piece of the water. So what we're looking for here and what everybody's looking for, and you know, let's face it, we're all looking for balance. A dog that'll slice in, stay tight to the bank, get out when you ask it to, swim by it when you ask it to. And that's what's important. And you've got Cutter and Cage Entry, some of the same problems. Cutter just didn't want to get in the water today. And I've seen this dog swim 400 and 500 yards before without any hesitation.
Here's Terry Claycamp and his dog Bumper. Now you're going to see a dog that goes a different route.
Absolutely, absolutely. Gets in the water, does a pretty good job after a little struggle, but then Terry was probably a little hesitant to blow a whistle when she started to fall behind that island, and he lost her. You saw the blind pole. She missed the blind pole probably 50 or 60 yards.
Bobby Wills, an accomplished SRS champion with his dog Nav. They make it past their first point, but staying on line becomes the challenge then.
And Nav has so much giddy up, so much what Vicky calls pizzazz. But if you'll notice, he got on that second piece of island. They're not going to let you play like that.
Came away with 43 faults as Rick Stevens and Maggie will show you how you can find your own route, but it's going to really cost you.
Right. She took a little more land there. Now, here's the thing. She stayed off the second point, which is a good thing, so the judges are going to let her hang.
Last year's champion, this year's hopeful Slide, and Chris Aiken. Now watch. This is a champion, ladies and gentlemen. Watch the trouble that Slide will have with this blind.
I mean, Slide literally would not get in the water at 100 yards. It was just an off day. But the majority of them had one of those off days. So the judges knew exactly what they were doing. They threw what they needed to out there. And again, we've got separation.
And that's got to be tough to put that leash on a dog that you know should have been better. And every handler had their own challenge. There was a dilemma for every champion, including Lyle Steinman, who actually is at the top of our leaderboard, but he too was faced with this challenge. You'll see it. Steinman is number one with Pasha and Coot. He's got number two. And then there are those who are chasing him.
Steinman's out front. He's done a great job to date. Let's see if he can hang on just a little bit longer.
What a challenge, what a competition. And it's not just in the field, but also at the docks. Our Superfly competition in the rain. But if you think a little water is going to bother these dogs, forget about it. It is time for the Ducks Unlimited Superfly Finals on a rainy day as a part of Riverfest, Central Arkansas's biggest premier celebration. Unfortunately, just in the rain, it's put a damper on things as you take a look at the scoreboard.
I'll tell you what, it is incredible. 200,000 plus people every year at this thing, and we'll be lucky if there's 10 people it's raining so hard. It's unbelievable how much it's rained, but it hasn't affected the dogs.
Nor has it dampened the hopes of these handlers. We just saw Randy Murphy and Gator jump 21-3, Melissa Ness and Smoke. Now, we're going to show you Smoke, and one of the problems you have, leaving way too early. Look at that.
Man, he took leaving early to a whole new level. I mean, he's at least 8 or 9 feet out there. Little Morgan said he was leaving early, and nobody knows more about leaving early than little Morgan.
Mike Jorns fought his way to get here with his dog Reagan, jumping 23-8. Now we'll show you a newcomer, Ben Propson, his dog Callie.
Oh, she's fun to watch. You know what? She's compact and controlled, and she's well maintained. Looks great. I love her. And there he is, the Dick Butkus of retrievers, slobbering, spitting, screaming, snarling. He's got to have it. I love him.
Up next, Major, and this is another newcomer, Brittany Linden, and Major gets 25-1.
Showing you that the flat coats can play with the big boys.
And now we'll show you exactly what we're faced with. Our top 3 dogs will now get 2 final jumps to see who the crown champion is in the rain, starting with Brittany and her dog Major. She will set the standard that the others will attempt to break.
Come on, flat coat. Do it for flat coat retrievers all over the country.
All right, now, Justin, would you rather go first here?
Absolutely not.
Really?
I want to go at the end, man. Let me see what I got in front of me to do, and let's get it going and get up here, flat coat.
Go Major.
Atta baby.
A major jump.
You know, there's something sexy about that. They just fly through the air. They're just something good about long hair. I don't know what it is. It looks good.
It was a good jump, 23-6, but you get the feeling they're going to have to do a lot better than that. They get one more jump, remember. We're going to bring in Randy Murphy and Quasi.
I'm telling you what, Lord, just look at the slobber. That's what I love. Look at it. Get up, Quasi. You don't think he's serious, man? That dog, I mean, everything in his soul has got him jumping for that bird. I mean, there's nothing more important on the planet to this dog.
24-3 is what Quasi comes away with. Here's our newcomer. You got Callie. This has been
Balance, speed, strength, power. Got great obedience. Sits when she tells him, leaves when he tells. I mean, everything is beautiful about this dog. Look at that. Gotta like it.
self-contained, everything motoring just perfectly, just really streamlined, and a jump of 25.7. And your theory holds up. I mean, your strategy, go for the distance. Go find out what your mark is you want to jump at. Here's Major one more time. Has to be 25.7 to win the Crown Championship.
Beauty's more than skin deep, big guy. Just not enough height. You know, and I know the jacket's sexy, and I'm sure it's cool, but I tell you, right now it's got to be weighing him down. It's raining, it's nasty out here. You just need, let that dog go. I mean, look at the slobber. I tell you, this is how you do it. Look at that. He's covered.
All right, Quasi had to get 25.7, or we're just going to hand this title to Callie. 25.2 comes up 5 inches short. So Ben Propson, a newcomer, and his dog Callie know now that they are the 2009 Crown Champions in our Ducks Unlimited Superfly, but they're going to put on one more jump just for the crowd. Small crowd, but they want to see him again.
There you go. Oh, pretty good jump. Got the hitch kick, Carl Lewis style in the air. Everything looked good.
And it worked for a 2009 Crown Championship for a first-timer to SRS. Ben Propson and his dog Callie. Congratulations, Wisconsin. You've got the top dog. For the record, here's the scoreboard. Callie, Quasi, and Major.
There they are. You got to think about it. Callie's balanced. Ben's a good guy, but Callie's balanced. She's just excitable enough to get it all going, get up, get high, get great distance. She's got great balance.
Balance is what we're looking for in the field, too. When we come back, more of Series number 3 in our Crown Championship.
The Super Retriever Series has been brought to you by Avery, welcome to your life. Eukanuba, make a good dog great. Max Prairie Wings, America's premier waterfowl outfitter. And by these fine sponsors: Mountaintop Custom Kennels, ProDrive, Creative Answer, and Splash Dogs.
Welcome back to Pepper's Pond as the judges watch intently. One of the great competitors, probably the greatest right now, Lyle Steinman, come to the line with his dog River. And Justin, this dog loves to swim.
Yes, yeah, and you said it best right there. Steinman is a special dog trainer, but River is even a better dog. She's won it before. She's incredible in the water, and the judges really need somebody to do a great job on this test to make them look good, to show that it truly is doable.
So they're kind of pulling for Steinman here and River in a way, although I don't want to insinuate that they're showing favoritism. They just want to see a dog do well.
No, I think they all want. I think every good dog judge wants to put out a great test, but he wants to see every dog cream it. And unfortunately, it never works like that, because when you put out a really good test, it's almost impossible to do. But we need somebody to come in here. We need somebody to be our hero, Craig.
Lyle Steinman qualified 7 dogs for the finals. Chris Aiken qualified 3. We're going to give you an update on what Chris is doing. 2 out of his 3 are still in this competition. Meanwhile, Clint Johnson also qualified 3, and all 3 of his dogs are still in it. Pretty far back, though.
Yeah, 2 of the 3 are probably out of contention, unless we just don't know what's coming. But I tell you, man, Steinman's great. This is the right test for his dog. I mean, his dogs are good in the water, but River's especially. River and Coot are the 2 best day in, day out water dogs in this competition right now.
River doing really well here. 8 faults after the first point. Excellent run. Keep in mind, Steinman has also lost 2 dogs, so he's actually got 5 remaining in his team of 7 that he qualified for here in the championship.
I don't know what I saw. I think I just saw something on Steinman's cap. We got to look at this.
Something written in it?
Yeah, he's got something in there. With Steinman, you never know what it might be, so it'll be fun to see. He's kind of our Ocho Cinco a little bit. He's he's got a little chip on his shoulder. That's okay. You know, sometimes everybody needs their own motivation.
Never know. He might have taught the dogs to read. He teaches them to do everything else.
That's right. No, it may say back in there. I don't know. Right or left. I have no idea. Anyway, he's doing a great job, and this is not a surprise.
Meanwhile, River stays right on line, going for this blind.
You know, she's seeking the water. Get by this point right here, little girl. Come on. Let's see. I bet she puts her shoulder right there on it and gets by it. Nice work. Kind of like that, man. I mean, there it is. No respect. I love it. And I don't know if he you know, who knows? Who knows? I don't know who doesn't respect him, but whatever it's doing, it's working. Whoever it's motivating, they're motivated.
River's motivated, and I can tell you, River and Lyle Steinman getting some respect here with this tremendous run. You see Lyle's wife looking on. River headed right to this bumper, right to the duck.
Incredible job. Bam! Get you some of that.
RESPECT. Find out what it means to me. Lyle Steinman, 18 faults with River. For the total series, 49 faults.
Ooh.
What does that mean? It means Lyle Steinman is dominating our scoreboard. Look at that. The top 5 dogs, all trained by Steinman.
He's way out in front. He's in great shape right now. But if there's one chink in his armor, it's what's coming up for the 4th. What the judges have set up, if they're ever going to catch Steinman, they're going to catch him right now. Next week, they're going to catch him.
All right, we've got one champion to name. We've already named one with our Ducks Unlimited Superfly. Congratulations again to Ben Popson and his dog Callie as they take the stand on a wet Riverfest day in Central Arkansas with the 2009 Crown Championship. Who's it going to be out on the field? Join us next week for a tremendous 4th run. The Super Retriever Series Crown continues.